Greetings and God bless. I just wanted to brainstorm with other people about ads on Craigslist. There will be people who will post like one or two sentences, and generally, like a lot of times, people will say serious requests only. And what is so interesting and what I'm wondering is when people are just posting the bare minimum, they don't give you an address, they don't really give you pictures, and they just tell you how much money they want. And then they say serious requests or serious inquiry only. Um, so it seems like people just want you to buy things sight unseen, and they want you to know, they expect you to read their mind and know everything about the situation and be ready to buy when you call. And uh, something that I'm finding is, well, if I don't know the address, I don't know what it looks like, I don't know the people, um, because people are vague because they're worried about stalkers or something like that. So you don't get information that you need in order to decide about, let's say, a rental. What's the location? Is it, close enough to the amenities you need? Um, and so I feel guilty, because I'm like, well, I didn't know that something was an hour away from a major city. Um, so I just think that um, it's okay. I mean, I understand about being private about things, but I think there can be some more information that the person who's posting the ad, if there's a time sensitive issue, you can give a general location of your place. You can do photos. And if you don't know how to use cameras and stuff, you can do some description. And that will help others self-select. Also, if you have this discrimination thing that you're feeling a need, if you require certain people to have certain things, um, you need to put that in the ad, or also just don't assume everybody is into what you're doing, like. So, and I can't say more because this platform has a problem with me doing so. So, anyways, yeah. Do you have any thoughts about when an ad says serious inquiries only, and you don't have information? And the funny thing is that there will be long, lengthy ads where it'll be 3 paragraphs, a general location, photos, and they're not asking for serious inquiries. So I think the people who just do no address, no photos, no description, just a couple lines and money, they want you to spend $700 or something. I think when they're like serious inquiries only. Well, I think if you're getting a lot of what you think are looky-loos, it's possibly because the ad itself is not enough information and people are trying to get more information. So to save yourself time, if you're writing just this one sentence ad, your wish list of how much money you want people to give you for sight unseen, just be more clear. And I'm wondering if people leave such obscure ads, if they post such unclear ads because they are trying to um, get more inquiries. Um, because people will self-select if you're like, this is a brown thing and it's a rectangle and it's in a steel mill or something like that. I mean, when you give details, that narrows things down for people. So yeah, and it's kind of almost ridiculous how many places do not give you any idea of things, of what it is, the rental, let's say. um yeah, and I just wonder, like, are people just renting things sight unseen, just poof, they just are now living there and they never met the people, and like, does that really work well? I just find that so um very different, because I'm just used to, we meet our prospects, and then we decide if this prospect feels excuse me, feels like a good match, and you go from there. And sometimes even when you do find somebody, you select them after careful consideration. Sometimes it works really well. Generally, it does, but sometimes it doesn't work well, even when you've looked at the person closely and you've also done some self assessment, like what makes you tick and what could make the living situation compatible. So even when you try, it can be messy. But when there's absolutely no effort put into, let's say, a roommate situation, um, like it's just very strange. And when I'm noticing, so in the 80s and 90s, renting in when I was in Massachusetts and in California, we filled out these self-assessment forms, and about who we are, what we're looking for. And other places that had rentals, they talked about who lived there and what they were looking for in a renter. And so it was a great process. Like you kind of just you found people, and we were all saving a little bit of money, as roommates. But now it seems like the model is this boarding house mentality. But the thing is, when it's like a boarding house, but it's just like three people renting and they don't know each other, and it's just a boarding house, like that's not really a conducive living situation, because people don't really, I mean, at least where I have been, whether it's Portland or Montana, or in South Dakota, like people aren't really, they don't really know how to live. They don't know how to share space. They don't know how to keep the common space clear so everybody can use it. Like there's just this weird, entitled, self centered thing where, they're like, oh, my pets can poop in the yard next to where you are, or poop in the house, and I'm going to just leave it for days because I am spending time with my boyfriend. I mean, like, um, things that pass for normal in this time, in the late 20 or early 21st century, like that did not pass in the late 20th century. So there's just something very strange. And I think like it comes back to this, you know, like people are like, serious inquiries only. I want you to buy my product with no effort. I just want you to see it and buy it. The thing is, in order for there to be a serious inquiry, there must be an inquiry. And people aren't giving information. They're scared of thinking about it or something. And but I guess it works because everybody's doing it that way. Everybody's in this like boarding house thing. It's like I've probably seen 10 out of 500 ads, like where maybe 10 posters were like, we want actually to know who's living with us. But for the most part, everybody's just like, it's a boarding house, we're just doing boarding house kind of stuff. And yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there and see if you guys have had that strange experience where it's like you're given the least amount of information people want. Those people giving this tiny bit of information, they want only serious inquiries, so they want you to buy it even though you don't know anything about it. It's I don't know, it's kind of funny. Thanks for watching. God bless.